Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Aisha Bashiruddin, an educationist, researcher, and writer. Welcome to the 12th presentation video based on my research titled I Am a Muslim Woman in America, a Narrative. In the last 3 presentation videos, I presented the analysis of Theme 2 with particular focus on 3 generations, that is, baby boomers, Generation X, and Generation Y. In this presentation video, I will continue with Theme 2 with particular focus on Generation Z, which is between the ages of 8 to 23. So stay with me. If you want to know more about the analysis of my research based on Muslim women identity in America, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. There are 2 themes that emerged from the analysis of the narratives of the women of Generation Z about forging identity in day-to-day practices, which are Muslim American identity and visible versus invisible identity. The first theme, Muslim American identity, show that these young Muslim women of Generation Z are trying to negotiate both their Muslim identity and their American identity. To them, their religion is important, but they also want to be recognized as Americans. Different narratives talk of ways in which these women intermingle or split their 2 identities. The analysis of the narratives reveal that the women of Generation Z are engaged in religion and value their identity as Muslim women. However, they do not want to be enclaved in their own Muslim communities as their parents have. For example, Yenet, whose parents are from Ghana, stated that her parents' generation is living in safe places, that is, within their Muslim and ethnic communities. In this way, they are living in fragmented America. Tayyiba, who belongs to a family from Palestine, said that when she was in high school and college, she realized that her Muslim identity was important for her. She would follow all that was required by the religion, but at the same time, she wanted to be part of the larger American community. Likewise, Adila, whose family was from Trinidad, states, and I quote, I am a Muslim woman. I pray and follow the commandments of the religion, but I don't want to be isolated from the rest of the world. After all, I'm a Muslim American. Unquote. Sophia, who belongs to a Cuban family, also stated that she practices her religion, but she also wants to display her Americanness. She states, and I quote, I am a Muslim and I pray and take care that I do not cross my limits, but at the same time, I want to be recognized as an American. I, like all Americans, go out with friends, travel, and go to college to further my education. Unquote. Likewise, Fidya, who was born in an African family, wears hijab and wants to prove that she is not oppressed and that she dresses up for occasions and wears matching color hijab and puts on some makeup and feels that she looks pretty and cool. She also has friends from other religions. Some of the young Muslim women think that being a Muslim and being American are two separate identities. For example, Yanette, whose parents are from Guyana, says, and I quote, I pray, I observe fasting during Ramadan. I am a Muslim. I also wear hijab with my casual jeans and shirts, which shows also my American identity. My hijabs are of modern Islamic fashion, which show that I am a Muslim, but I also follow the fashion trends. Unquote. Sofia, who belongs to Cuba, also feels that she, being a Muslim, is linked to her relationship with Allah, and at the same time, it shows that she is trendy and liberal Muslim. Ifat, born in a Palestinian family, keeps her Muslim identity at the forefront. She said, and I quote, I am a Muslim first, then I am Palestinian, and then I am American. Unquote. She feels empowered by the opportunity that America has to offer her. She keeps her religious obligations, such as praying both at home and in her university, and keeps her American identity. In public, she does not cover, she tries to wear loose clothes, but in masjid, she covers and wears a hijab. Some narratives show that these young women are reconstructing their identity by blending the Islamic tradition and culture of their families with American identity. They want to bring cultures together. Adela, whose parents belong to Trinidad, for example, she wants to bring diverse worlds together. Hence, she has many friends who belong to many different ethnic groups and religions. She states, and I quote, I want to integrate my Muslim identity with my American identity. I want to keep my Islamic moral values and live in America. Unquote. The analysis of the narratives also show that many of them wanted to keep a balance between their two identities, while others thought that both their identities play their roles in different situations. Razia, who belonged to an African family, states, and I quote, when I go to the masjid, I pray and listen to religious scholars. My Muslim identity is in focus, while when I am with my friends who have different religions and ethnic backgrounds, my American identity becomes prominent. Unquote. Some of the narratives provide evidence how media plays an important role in their understanding of being a Muslim in the modern era. Adela, whose parents belong to Trinidad, for example, stated that she listens to the religious scholars who talk about Islam in this era. When she listens to these scholars, she can understand and connect to Islam better. Some said that media also shows them how to be a Muslim in America. Ifat, born in a Palestinian family, narrated that she is closely linked with her religion through media. She listens to the Muslim scholars and asks and sends response to issues on the Islamic blogs. This way, she finds answers to her queries about Islam and its practices. Tayyiba, who belongs to a family from Palestine, keeps in contact with her religion by not only praying, but she listens to lectures online through which she learns more about her religion. She tries to practice what she hears. She tries to make her day-to-day decisions based on religion because she's also worried about her akhirah. She does not want to do anything that displeases Allah. She stated, and I quote, I am conscious of the fact that this world is temporary and I need to focus on my goal, which is to go to Jannah. I see God, Allah, as Rahman and Rahim, the most forgiving and most merciful. I talk to Allah, make dua, read the Quran, and pray. Unquote. The other theme that emerged from the data analysis of the narratives of women of Generation X is visible versus invisible identity. In the second theme, what is consistently seen is that many of these young women of Generation Z want to make their identity noticeable by wearing hijab and somewhat modest clothes so that their Muslim identity is visible. Whereas there are others who want to stay invisible because they do not think that they must prove their identity as Muslims. Some of these young women of Generation Z wore hijab, which revealed their identity as Muslims. Some of them referred to the critical political situation, which is so much anti Muslim, and thought that as Muslims they have to stand up for themselves as they also are Americans. Yenet, whose parents were from Ghana, states, and I quote, if I feel that my identity as a Muslim woman is a threat, I am a coward. I need to change the perception of people, at least around me, that Muslims are individuals who are not terrorists. Unquote. Some of them believed that they should not be marginalized and that they need to be who they are. Their religion should not be in their way as Americans. Adela, whose family was from Trinidad, states, and I quote, I am convinced that we can compete with anyone and be successful in our lives. Being a Muslim should not stop us from getting to the position that what that we want to see ourselves in future. Unquote. There are examples of these young women who said that many Muslims avoided wearing hijab because they feel that they are an easy target. They are not secure, but according to Sufia, who belongs to Cuba, she feels very confident and safe when she wears hijab. She is very open about her identity as a Muslim woman who is as intelligent as others around her. She has no hesitation in showing her good character and in explaining it to others what she believes in. She states, and I quote, I am confident and I am articulate to talk about my religion and my practices. Unquote. A couple of these women said that they know wearing a hijab is a religious requirement and they feel comfortable wearing it, especially in mixed sex settings. Tayyiba, whose parents belong to Palestine, wears hijab and feels that it is important for her Muslim identity. She wants to please Allah and not her friends who belong to different religions. She wears hijab and that is her Muslim identity. Some of her friends ask her questions which she is happy to answer. She also emphasized, and I quote, we as Muslim women must be proactive in displaying our virtues, good manners, good moral character, and good behavior so that we are recognized as Muslims. If we have self respect and good behavior, we are moving towards piety and also showing others who a Muslim is. Unquote. Adiba from a Pakistani family says, and I quote, "If I'm upset, I look up things in the Quran and Hadith to make peace with myself." Unquote. She listens to the tafsir of the Quran to be able to understand it and practice it. She has joined a halaqah in the masjid so that she can learn more about Islam. She wears loose clothing, long dresses, and hijab so that she can cover her body. She studied in a public school and wore a hijab. She said, and I quote, "People are respectful of my appearance and the way I dress up." Unquote. She recalls an incident where they had different club gatherings in her school, and she would go to the stage, and if there were men, they would not hold up their hands, but bow their heads in respect, which she really appreciated. Some of these women of Generation Z do not wear hijab. They don't want to announce or to make it public that they are Muslims. One of them stated, and I quote, "I have no need to be visible. I am who I am in my heart. I do not want to make it public. People who know me, who I am, and that is enough for me." Unquote. Likewise, Salma, who belonged to a family from Pakistan, states that she is not very open about her identity because her life is very private and she wants to keep it that way. Some of them also talked about their experiences with their peers who come to know that they are Muslims and ask questions related to their religion. They do not discuss their religion and they keep information very limited. Adila, whose family was from Trinidad, for example, said, and I quote, "I do not want to explain who I am as a Muslim. We never ask questions from our peers who are from other religions, so we owe no explanations to anyone." Unquote. Similarly, Ifat, born in a Palestinian family, states that she does not want to explain and discuss her religion because many a times others misunderstand and that creates a very hostile environment, especially after 9/11. Salma, whose parents are from Pakistan, cannot be identified as a Muslim from her appearance. She does not believe in displaying her religiosity. She states, and I quote, "I do not want to be labeled and given an imposed identity by others." Unquote. Adila stated that she does not want to be enclaved in a stereotyped image of Muslim women as oppressed and culturally backward. Almost all these young Muslim women confessed that when they go to the masjid for praying, mostly with their parents, they cover themselves with abaya and hijab. Thank you for joining and thank you for your comments. Please stay in touch and see you next week with next presentation video. Until then, goodbye and Allah Hafiz.